Okay, factoring trinomials. And we're going to start with simple ones first. When we have simple trinomials, they're all going to be of the form like this: x squared plus bx plus c. In other words, a positive x squared, a number times x, plus a constant. And these are the simple kind. We'll move on after the simple to the complex. So let's look at the simple trinomials. The number in front of the x squared is a positive 1 if it's simple. Okay, so let's look at these. Here's my first example: x squared plus 5x plus 6. How do we factor these? Well, remember, we just multiplied some binomials together, and we added the two middle terms to get this middle number here. This sign tells you whether the signs are the same or different. In this case, because I have a plus for my second sign, this sign says the signs are the same. So what does that mean? It means that inside the two binomials that are going to produce this sign in the middle is the same. It's either a plus or a minus. This sign here tells you which one it is. If this is plus, then they're both plus. If it was minus, they would both be minus. Okay? So this first sign okay? Now, x squared is x times x. That's why it's simple. That's the only choice you have, is x times x. But my 6, we have two possibilities. We have 1 times 6 is equal to 6, and 2 times 3 is equal to 6. How do we know which one it is? The sum, because the signs are the same, the sum of the two factors has to equal the coefficient of the middle term. So we're looking at the sum here. 1 plus 6 is equal to 7. 2 plus 3 is equal to 5. Since 5 is my middle term, it means that my factors here are 2 and 3. Okay? So now let's look at another one. How about x squared minus 5x plus 6? Again, just like in the first one, this plus here tells you the sign is the same. The negative here tells you that sign will be negative. So we're going to have in our two binomials x times x, and then you'll have a minus and a minus. And again, 2 times 3 is 5, so we know it is 2 and 3. And notice you can check it with what I call the smile and the chin. This is a negative 2x and a negative 3x. And if you add those together, you get a negative 5x, which is exactly what the middle term is up there. So you know that you have factored it correctly. Okay, now let's look at another one. x squared plus x minus 6. Now again, you know you're going to have two binomials, x times x. But I now have a negative 6. This sign tells you the signs are different. That means one will be plus and one will be minus. So one is plus and one is minus. Now, because one is plus and one is minus, your factors have to be subtracted because the signs are different. So you have 1 times 6. 6 minus 1 is equal to 5. Is that my middle term? No, it is not the coefficient of the middle term. So now I have 2 times 3, and 3 minus 2 is equal to 1. Okay? So 1 is my coefficient here. So I know that this is the pair that I want. Now, which one of those numbers will be positive and which one will be negative? Well, if my sign in front is positive 1, that means my larger number has to be positive, and my smaller number will be negative. And again, if you check your smile and the chin, it should give it to you. 3x minus 2x gives you a 1x, a positive 1x, which is exactly what we had up there. Okay? So let's do one more of that type. X squared minus 5x minus 6. Again, not much different. X times x. This minus 6 says you've got a plus and a minus. Again, looking at our two factors. And so we've got a 1 times 6. 6 minus 1 is equal to 5. Because it's different signs, you're going to subtract. Now, this is a 5. That's exactly what we got with this subtraction. This tells us that 1 and 6 are our factors, so we don't need to try again. But which one is positive and which one is negative? My 5 in front of my x is negative. That means my larger number has to be negative, and my smaller number has to be positive. Again, check your smile and your chin and see if that is true. 1x minus 6x is a negative 5x. That is in agreement with this up here. Therefore, I have factored it accurately. So your factors will be x plus 1 times x minus 6. Okay? This is what you'll need to type into your system, is those two factors. Okay, let's look at another one. Okay, notice on this one, we have an x cubed here, an x squared, and an x. Therefore, our first step on this one will be to pull out your common factor of an x. So x times x squared minus 5x plus 6. Now, we've already factored this once, so we kind of know what it is. So x is equal to x minus 3 times x minus 2. Negative 2x minus 3x gives you a negative 5x. So this is factored. Notice an exponent of 3 gives you 3 factors for this polynomial. Let's look at another one. Y squared plus 7y minus 30. Okay. Again, this is simple, so we know it's going to be y times y. Negative 30 says we're going to have a plus and a minus. But now we have to find the two factors that have a difference of 7. So, I see right away 30 is a 3 times a 10. And 10 minus 3 is equal to 7. Exactly what I need. Therefore, 3 and 10 are my two factors, and as I look at it, 7 is positive, so 10 has to be positive, and 3 has to be negative. 10y minus 3y gives you 7y. So we can check it with our smile and chin. If we wanted to, we could have started with 1 times 30, 2 times 15, 3 times 10. Our last one would be 5 times 6. But I saw 3 and 10 immediately, so I went straight to 3 and 10. But if you don't know, you can list all the possibilities. Okay, let's look at another one. Okay, again, this is more complex, right? We've got A is going to be our first one. We know that. And we know our second one, both of them are going to have B to have a B squared. This is positive. If it's positive, that means you're going to be adding the factors. So you have 1 times 18. 1 plus 18 is equal to 19. 2 times 9, 2 plus 9 is equal to 11, not the number I'm looking for, and a 3 times 6. So 3 plus 6 is equal to 9. So we know that this is going to be a 3 and a 6. Since that's plus, the sign is the same sign is going to be minus. Now let's check our smile and chin. Negative 3ab, and notice I put it in alphabetical order, minus 6ab. If I add these like terms, I get a negative 9ab, which is the same as what I have up there. Therefore, it has been factored accurately. Okay, let's look at another one. Three z squared plus 6z minus 24. Again, I have a 3. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. And 3 times 8 is 24. So I'm going to factor out my 3 and have z squared plus 2z minus 8. And as you see, that works out pretty nice because now I have a simple trinomial to factor. So this is 3 times my two binomials, z times z. A minus 8 means we're going to be subtracting the factors. So you have 8 is 1 times 8. 8 minus 1 is equal to 7. But 7 isn't my middle term, so obviously it's not that one. 2 times 4. 4 minus 2 is equal to 2. 2 is my middle factor, my middle coefficient, therefore 2 and 4. Which one is positive and which one is negative? Since the signs are not the same, which one will be negative and which one will be positive? This is plus 2, therefore my larger factor has to be my positive. My smaller one is negative. 4z minus 2z is a positive 2z. Therefore, it is factored accurately.